and roll outlaw. Hee-haw, 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 hee-haw. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Outlaw Gus, back to Gus's Bay once again. This time I'm going to have an interview with Lt.Col Falkenhayn. What's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot, man. Thanks for having me, Gus.
Absolutely, man. This is a gentleman that has worked his way up the ranks, and even since I've been here, he's exceeded me, and now I'm his XO, which is kind of weird, but hey, I'm honored. First question I'd like to ask you, I'm pretty sure, is with basic one we'll ask everybody else, is how long have you been with Blackthorns?
I've been with Blackthorns for about 14 months now, since January of 2013, right after I started playing the game. Delsh actually recruited me from the Comstar public server. So that was the first time I ever played any sort of game using voice comms, and it just made such a huge difference immediately. So Delsh brought me over to the Blackthorn server for a test run, and that was pretty much that. I played with you guys for a few weeks, and then I formally signed up. Funny thing is, someone had already given me the Dragoon tags and everything before someone else realized that nobody ever mentioned that I had to submit an application, right? So I was like, oh, we have a website, a month later. But but there was a lot of change going on in the unit back then, and, there was understandably a little bit of chaos. So this is the first and still the only guild I've joined in an online game, and, it's been an awesome experience. I think being part of this community is actually what's kept the game interesting for me. If I was just pugging it, I probably would have gotten bored with it after a couple months. That's what usually happens. Yeah, that's what always happens, with me and MMOs. I play it for a little bit, get burned out, and leave. But, I'm still here after a year and still as active as ever, and it's because the guys here. Yeah.
All right,
so
man.
It's because the guys, great bunch of guys here.
Yeah, I know, man. It's just what a lot of people don't understand is that most of the time we just kick back and have fun with the game, and only on certain days of the week or like on the Merrick Civil War drops, like we'll talk about that here in a little bit, probably. Pretty sure you have something to say about that. But right now, let's talk about your position in MechWarrior Online. Lt.Col, you are the XO of the actual clan, under Jim and Sinwolf. Go ahead and take the time to explain that to everyone.
Yes, I've had this question a few times. What exactly is it you're supposed to be doing, right? So I've held the position of Lieutenant Colonel and acting commander of Blackthorns, at least for MechWarrior, since late June of last year. So that's 8 or 9 months now. Prior to that, I held second lieutenant and captain positions in the 2nd Battalion, the Widowmakers, under Dax, which was definitely a cool experience. I really loved being part of 2nd Battalion and seeing it grow into a tight unit within a unit.
Go Widows.
So, oh yeah, hell yeah, go Widows. So, I miss that sometimes, being part of a battalion. Things are definitely a bit different when you move into more of a staff position like the one I sit in today. So, the role of commander is a bit of a mixed bag in terms of, why am I here? What do I do? So, first off, it's, an administrative office, right? There's always that requirement that somebody holds that position for the unit. So there's just the basic blocking and tackling around maintaining the roster and the rank structure and what have you. Forum privileges, TeamSpeak tags, all that stuff. But, that's just kind of backseat admin work. More importantly, I would say it's my job to know and understand the dynamics within our unit. To get to know everyone, play with everyone, know where we're weak and where we're strong, and try to fix things, right?
Absolutely.
I think it's important that for me to try to help new guys ramp up into the game, understand how the unit works, and understand our place in the game world and, the larger community such as it is. So anybody can come to me with anything. I'll listen to anyone and I'll give advice if I'm asked for it.
And if you have a proper answer, that sounds like me.
Yeah, exactly. So I do spend a lot of time with the battalion commanders and the other officers, working through things like how we address competitive play, how we can train guys up into our style of 12-mans, that sort of thing. That's one of the key things that Jim left me in charge of with the acting commander's responsibility. That's to keep the unit rolling and growing and make sure we're still here and ready for official community warfare when it does roll out. So it's a mix for me of trying to keep things fun and keep things focused when it comes to setting the direction and setting the tone for the regiment.
Yep. And my job as your XO is to carry out any orders you give me and to make sure everybody's staying honorable, because I'm the watchdog. I'm that pit bull on that chain. No, not a leash. I'm on a chain being held by Falkenhayn. Okay, he lets go of that chain. I'm loose. Watch out.
Thank God you're here, man. So, yeah, I mean, aside from that, right, the high-level stuff, I view it as my job to be present as much as possible, right? I mean, you guys know I'm on every freaking night, you know?
Yeah, me too.
So,
well, mostly.
Yeah. So, you know, I try to be visible and take part in stuff, whether it's Friday Night Romper Room or, you know, casual fours or going up against the big boys in 12-man drops.
If you're questioning on what the Romper Room is, you know, that you may not be a Blackthorn listening to this. Romper Room is where we get a whole bunch of people in TeamSpeak, and we drop simultaneously on the same mode and see who's against each other and who's on the same team. It's a blast. It really is. If you want to try to come out and play it, you have to come play it with us, because it's not the same unless you're playing it in the Blackthorn TeamSpeak.
Yeah, very true. Check out the Romper Room sometime if you've never done it. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, the point is, though, you know, if the commander's not taking part in what the unit's doing on a day-to-day basis, it's really easy to get out of touch, and you never want to see that happen. Jim had, you know, when I first took the role, he used the word icon to describe my role, which I think is funny. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that, right? You know, I'm not some, like, shining paragon of what it means to be a Blackthorn or a mech warrior, you know, but I do try to...
We end up somehow me and you end up the guys that were calling the shots, somehow.
Yeah, don't know how that happened. But, you know, I do try to maintain the professional and the sportsmanlike attitude, especially in our dealings with others outside the unit, right?
Absolutely.
Because those are sort of basic expectations of what it means to be part of the Blackthorns. You know, play with respect, play with integrity, and I try to lead by example in that regard when I can. You know, you guys will hear me pop off on, you know, TeamSpeak a lot, but, you know, I try not to ever do that outside of our comms. It's definitely not a dictatorship thing, right? It's not my unit. It's our unit. You know, I'm not here to micromanage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even Jim's unit. Jim's just the one forking out the money so we can have the TeamSpeak, the server, the website. He's the guy running the show. This is our clan as a unity. You know, don't mean to get comic book on you, but we are Legion, for we are many. Yes, we are all one unit. That's why I like this clan. You know, we're not a whole bunch of different people separated by different things. Yes, we have 2 different battalions, but we are not separated by those battalions. We are one unit, and lately we've been really shining in that.
Very well said. So, you know, as far as my role in all this, I'm not here to micromanage the personnel or what anyone's doing on a day-to-day basis, right? The battalions run themselves, and I'm happy to provide input and guidance when it's needed. But I'm also very happy to see other people step up and take initiative with, hey, let's do this, or, you know, wouldn't it be fun if we did that? And then letting them run with it. Because having one guy run everything in a unit, top down, in a unit this size, just doesn't work, right?
Yeah, it drops morale a little bit, for one.
Yeah, it drops morale, it's counterproductive, and it's a recipe for burnout, too. So, you know, additionally, we don't have that sort of command and control mindset in this unit like some units do. You know, this is a pretty open, collaborative place, and for me, that's a big part of what makes it a cool place to be. You know, at work, I hate consensus building and management by committee because shit never gets done, right? But this is a game setting, and I think we're definitely better served by taking that approach.
No, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. So just in closing on that thought, as far as my role, at the end of the day, you know, I want people to think of me as just Falcon first, right? The guy in charge, a distant second. You know, I'm not your boss.
Dangerous son of a bitch in the misery.
Yeah, well, everyone knows that, right?
Well,
you know, point is,
though, me and you both share that lovely, yeah.
Misery loves company.
Yes, indeed.
I'm a rock and roll